never made it to Iowa. Never made it to Iowa. She didn't get one vote. And she still hasn't gotten one vote. And she won't have one vote. Think of it. Biden, I'm not a fan of Biden. I think he was terrible. A terrible president. What he did to our country, you look at him with the planes and the stairs and the falling all over the place, and he had no idea what the hell was happening. He couldn't find his way off the stage. That's true. A stair here, stair there, stair. I got stairs all over the place. He'd finish his speech. I'd look around. Where am I? The speeches lasted. The nice part, it was good in the hot sun because they lasted for about 2 minutes. And go home. Nobody would come anyway. But we can't let her. She's much worse. Much because she's actually more radical. He never believed it. He just did it for votes. Open borders. You know, she wants open borders. If she became president in 4 years, you'd have 60 to 70 million people from all over the world. And it's not just South America. And remember, they're releasing them from their jails and their prisons.
Yes.
They're coming out of jails and prisons and mental institutions and insane asylums.
Exactly.
And we have hundreds and probably thousands of terrorists that have come into our country.
Right.
We probably have a few here. Welcome, welcome. But we probably have a few here. And she's all for it. And now she's saying, and you see what she's saying.
Build
The wall was
road.
largely built.
Build road.
We were adding
Finish
space
the
onto
wall.
the wall.
Finish the
We
wall.
built hundreds of miles of wall. I actually took it because Congress gave us a hard time and the Democrats were brutal. We had 11 lawsuits and we won all 11, but I took it out of the military. I called it an invasion of our country. It was an invasion. And we built hundreds of miles of wall. And then I was going to do 200 extra. We ordered it. It was there. And we had that rotten, horrible election, where we did much better than we did the first time. And bad things happened, and all of a sudden, I hear that they want to have open borders. And I thought they were kidding. Who the hell wants open borders? And then they said, we'll give you health care. You know, now they're saying all about how they're getting tough in the borders and how they were tough, except they have a couple of problems. Do you know that we flew in 1 million people, airplanes, over the top of the border, beautiful airplanes. They're flying them in. If you want to stop people, you're not flying them in on airplanes and many other things. No, they wanted open borders, and we have a country that's loaded up with many, many criminals right now, of the worst. They emptied their jails. They emptied their jails and prisons. They emptied their mental institutions into our country, largely. Now, they're continuing to do it, but if you look at many of these countries that we're talking about, frankly, who can blame them? They're dropping their prisoners into the United States of America. They're dropping all of these people into the United States, including their mental institution people. Any terrorists they have, they're dropping them into the United States. We're taking hundreds of thousands of people that were in jail for murder. You take a look at Venezuela, their jails are half, and I'm surprised half, because frankly, I would have worked faster than that. If I were running it, I would have had all of them out of there by now. They go to Caracas, they take all their gang members, all of their killers, their murderers, their drug dealers, they take them and they're putting them into the United States, and their crime is down 72%. In fact, next time what we'll do, instead of North Carolina, we'll have our next little gathering in Venezuela, because it will be much safer than being in our country. If these people win, you're not going to have any meetings, you're not going to have anything. There'll be chaos in our country. And we just can't let it happen.
Send them back.
Send them back. Let it happen.
Send them back.
Remember when Biden sent Kamala to Europe to stop the war in Ukraine, she met with Putin, and then 3 days later he attacked. How did she do? You think she did a good job?
No.
She met with Putin to tell him don't do it. And 3 days later, he attacked. That's when the attack started. Did you know that, General? Should have said you. But over 500,000, they say, are dead or wounded, but it's a much higher number than that. And everything lies in ruin. Look, we are going to fight like hell to win this election.
Fight!
They are going to cheat like hell to win the election. because they have no bounds. They have no bounds. I've said to some Republicans once in a place called Philadelphia,
Nick, water?
which I love. I went to school in
Go
Philadelphia.
water, man.
But it's suffering tremendously, like Chicago, like every Democrat-run city is suffering. But I said, like, why do we allow them to do it? Do Republicans do what they do with the stuffing the boxes, with all of the different things they do? Sir, we're proud Americans. And that's really the right thing to say. But they have no bounds. We have to win this election. If we don't win this election, we are in such trouble as a country. We're in trouble right now, but you have the right guy to straighten it out. I'll get it straightened out. I'll get it straightened out. We're going to have peace through strength all over the world like we had just a short while ago. And I just want to say, closing, it's an honor to have served for 4 years. I wish we didn't have this break. The only thing good about the break is it shows how bad it can get, because we've never had a country that's been in shape like this country is in right now. We have squalor in our streets. Our vets are disregarded, living on sidewalks in freezing cold and unbelievably hot cities all over the country. And yet we have people coming into our country that are living in luxury hotels. This is what we have. We're going to straighten out our country through common sense. We're going to straighten out our country with the United States of America. We're the greatest country in the world. We're not going to let this continue to go. We're going to straighten it out. We're going to make it bigger, better, stronger than ever before. We're going to bring in business. We're going to use tariffs to take advantage of our great strength and to, frankly, hurt countries that are hurting us and have been hurting us on trade for many years.
Woo!
Right now, China is building massive auto plants in Mexico, and they think that those plants are going to make cars and they're going to sell them off the line for no tax, no anything.
No.
Destroy what's left in Detroit, which frankly, compared to years ago, is very little. And South Carolina and many other places. We're not going to let it happen. We will charge them 150 or 200% tariff, and all of that investment that they made is now worthless. We're not going to let them do that. We're not going to let them destroy our automobile industry. The United Auto Workers has a grossly incompetent man at the head. They want to make all electric cars, and Elon Musk is a friend of mine. You saw he endorsed me very strongly.
Yes.
And he understands that I'm right. And I love electric cars, and they have an incredible purpose. They have an incredible purpose. They're unbelievable what they can do, and he makes a great product. But I told him, I said, you know, before you endorse, you have to understand, we have to have gasoline-propelled cars. Again, we have more liquid gold than anybody anywhere in the world.
Yeah,
More
real,
than
baby,
Saudi
real.
Arabia, more than Russia. We have more than anybody. We're going to quadruple that business. We're going to be much bigger than both of them together. We're going to pay down debt. We're going to reduce your taxes. I gave you the largest tax cut in history, the largest regulatory cut in history.
Yeah.
That created. And when Biden talks about jobs, by the way, because they lie so much, the jobs he created, almost all of them, almost 100%, people say more than 100%, went to illegal aliens. The other, remember this, the numbers sound good because they're called bounce back jobs. We had a pandemic, people were laid off, and then as soon, and this is common for ages, when a pandemic goes, you have bounce back. The businesses, and had we not done what we did with money, probably some of you benefited, but we would have been in a 1929 style depression. We did it just right. The problem is they came in, they no longer needed money. We gave them a country that was fixed, and more people died during Biden, think of that, than died during us from COVID. Many more people died during them. But think of this, we gave them a country and they blew it because they took so much, they took trillions and trillions of money, they kept feeding it, and that's what caused, along with their bad energy policies, that's what caused this tremendous inflation, which is destroying the people of our country. And frankly, it's contagious, it's all over the world, but we're the ones that started it with their bad policy. So we're gonna work very hard, we've gotta win this state. This state is a very, very big state to win. We've won it twice, and we're going to win it again.
Woo! Yo!